see y'all. Good to see y'all. Hope y'all had a good summer.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Zach, what does Jair Alexander bring to your defense?
I mean, he brings a lot. I mean, he brings first and foremost energy, confidence, hard work, and then playmaking ability. I mean, we go against our offense every day, and they challenge our corners, especially on the outside, and he's done a great job, man. So we've been happy, pleased with him. He's a great student of the game. I'm pleased with how fast he's picked up the system, and the vets and his teammates are helping him out. But he brings a lot, man. He can still play at a top level. He's everything that we thought he would be, and even more, man. He's a great dude. Glad that we got him.
Zach, so much talent, especially in the secondary, 5 first-round picks and all that stuff. You know, last year there's talent in that defense too, right?
Yep.
And there's some tougher moments at the beginning, and you guys overcame it. How does this year's unit, with all that talent, like, what's the key to them playing up to what the potential is?
I think it's putting the work in every single day in the classroom and out here on the field and even in walkthroughs. And not to say that wasn't happening, but I see it at a whole nother level this year. So I'm happy with it. We're light years ahead of where we're at. We still got a long way to go, but we're ahead of where we were at last year. So that's a credit to the guys who were here, man. We didn't like what we did last year, especially the first half of the season, and we made a vow that we wouldn't do that again. So we know that's just words. We have to put action behind it. But so far, throughout the spring and this first week of training camp, the action's been real good. So I'm happy with the group.
Zach, with the talent that you have in secondary, do you think that gives you more flexibility in terms of playing man coverage, and is that something that you would like to do?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it opens the possibilities of playing man coverage, blitzing more, playing different coverages. Our DBs, they can do everything, man, and it's a credit to Double D and Pagano. You'll see these guys start rotating and playing different positions as we get going. Did a lot in the spring. So when the offense lines up and you have multiple DBs on the field and they don't know necessarily what coverage, what pressure, or what position those guys are playing, it's an advantage for us. So, we'll start working that, but I'm excited about the possibility. And it's just depth, man, depth and matchups for certain opponents. You might want to put certain guys on certain people. So it's definitely an advantage for us.
Zach, Marlon Humphrey can be very candid, and he said, we don't think the Steelers fear our defense anymore. We don't think the Bengals fear our defense anymore. What's your reaction when you hear that, and how do you change it?
I like that, man. Like, we want to be the most feared unit in the league, and it's time for us to get back to people being scared of playing us, and that's what we want to feel when we out there. Obviously, he's out there. We trust him. He feels that way. I feel that way too. So that's one of our goals this year is to be the most dominant feared defense in the National Football League. So let's go do it. And it's not just going to happen by us talking about it. We got to come out here, put the work in, and then when Sunday or game day comes, we got to go do it.
Back along those lines, Marlon also said creating turnovers.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest point of emphasis. Only maybe 6 teams have fewer than you guys did last year.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of things that go into it, but from your standpoint, how do you go about sort of coaching that, and what elements do you sort of look to stress to?
Yeah. First thing, man, we just teach it, man. We getting better at teaching it, teaching in the classroom, showing opportunities on film, showing how to get the football out, understanding how important it is. And I think Coach Harbaugh has done a great job this spring of talking about what's really the impactfuls that impact the football games. And takeaways for a defense is at the top of the list. And when we take the ball away, we'll win. When we don't, we got a good chance of winning, but why put ourselves in that position? So obviously we look at it last year. We didn't take the ball away enough. We had 0 takeaways in the playoffs, and us as defensive coaches and players, we look at it as the reason why we didn't get to where we wanted to get to. So we're talking about it every single day. We're teaching it. We're drilling it, and we're making our guys aware of how important it is. And it's not just me talking about it. It's every coach is talking about it, even on the offensive side of the ball. So I think that it's good that our players are mindful of it, and we understand as a defense that's the most important thing. Just think about it. If we take the football away and we keep giving our offense and LJ more opportunities to score, we'll be in good shape.
Zach, last year the defense is overcoming a lot of turnover, both in the coaching and on the field with the players. Is there any more, in your mind, comfortability this year going into camp? What's the difference, I guess, now with not as much turnover?
Yeah, I think it's definitely more comfortable. I mean, I'm more experienced, so I know I'm better than what I was last year, especially this time of year. So I think that's where some of the comfortability comes from. I think the players and the coaches that are here, they understand of what we want to get accomplished, what we have to get accomplished, and they understand the action plan that we have to take to get that accomplished. So it's great, man. Sometimes change is good, and I think that it's been good for us from a coaching and playing standpoint.
I guess after a week of camp and seeing Malachi, what are some of your impressions? How do you feel like he's fitting in?
Man, he's fitting in great. He's fitting in great. Every test that we've thrown at him since the spring, up to now, this first week of training camp, he's passed with flying colors, and which is expected. You know, you saw him in college do that. You talk to his coaches, you talk to people who've known him. You know his makeup. So the next step, we'll start getting in pads here next week, and we'll start having these preseason games and regular season games, and we'll see if he passes those tests, which we expect him to do, because he's a heck of a person, heck of a player, and like I always say, when you're a talented player and you work hard on and off the field, the chances of you being successful are dang near 100%. So Malachi fits that mold.
Zach, what do you see from Mike Green this week, and what do you hope to see from him in the third rank?
Yeah, I mean, Mike just comes in and works, man. Smart player, works hard work. Doesn't really say much until we out here on the field and he has to communicate, which he does a great job of. But he's just a worker, man, just like all our rookies. So right now it's outside backer and a front guy. Right now we're wearing shorts and T-shirts with a helmet on, so it's pretty much assignment sound, and he's been great with that. It's going to crank up next week, and I'm excited for him. We know what type of player we have, so now it's time for him just to go out here and do it in practice, which we believe he will.
Two more for Zach.
Zach, John has already shouted out Ruben Lowry several times.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Ruben about kind of maybe specific things he can do to put himself in that conversation at the end, given how many talented guys there are in that secondary?
Yeah, we talked to all our guys like that, and Ruben, he's made plays since he's been here, man. So credit to our personnel staff finding him. They've done a great job finding all these rookies. This is one of the most competitive rosters that we've had since I've been here. So you guys are going to get a chance to learn a lot about some of these guys that you might not know about. But Ruben has made plays since he's been here. And we up front with our guys in the meeting rooms. Like, we tell them, hey, don't block out distractions. Don't count numbers. Don't worry about who's in the room. All you do is show up, work hard, make plays, and be consistent. That will lead to productivity. Now you put yourself in a great situation to do great things. And so far, Ruben has done that, man. So he's playing all over the secondary for us. He's been real impressive. I'm excited to see him continue to grow and see what he does the rest of the summer.
Zach, you normally play your boundary cornerbacks. You keep them to one side, and you have a lot of depth this year. But do you see Nate Wiggins growing into the type of player that you're going to have follow opposing wide receiver ones in certain situations in the future?
Yeah, that might be something that we do. Our guys right now, they're playing, left and right and rotating. So our guys are getting work on the right side, they're getting work on the left side, they're getting work in the slot, which is good. And but I think that that might be something we'll look into.
Thank you, Zach.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day.
A lot of returning players in this offense. How much do you feel like that lets you kind of take things to another level this year in terms of what you're installing?
Well, it was great having, let's start off with the staff, offensive staff back. Okay, so this will be our third year together. Every year you're together with somebody, a group of people. I think the relationship grows, knowing each other, not only individually as a person, but when it comes to game planning. So that's been great. That's been great. I think allowed us in the off season to really be comfortable uncovering things that we can get better at, because you really got to drill down and look at where we can get better. Where can we be efficient in areas we weren't nearly as efficient as we want to be at the right times. And then having a good number of our players back to give us a chance to run it back one more time. And it was an easy decision in my mind. You'll have to ask Eric, but to get a lot of those guys back, because they're still playing at a high level. This isn't like, we got a diminishing skill set. No, our guys are still playing at a really high level. So it's exciting.
John has mentioned that a point of emphasis is pre-snap penalties. There seem to be several each day out here. Is there a common thread to those happening? And when you leave here and go inside and meet, what are you telling the players about those?
Well, you're right. There is a common thread, and that is that we're going to continue to stress it and use cadence in practice. And I've said this before, it's real easy to get frustrated, which I do. I'm the king of overreacting, okay? So, but if you do that, then you'll just go on one all the time, and that doesn't help you either. So where is that sweet spot? Now's the time to do that. We're practicing some other things in the throw game and the run game to obviously try like heck to be on point when we play the first game, But obviously we got a lot of work to do, but that's not the only thing. That's the only thing that's obvious to the naked eye, right? That, okay, we can see that, play stops, there's a yellow hanky, okay, that's not very good. Well, there's a lot of things we need to work at. That just happens to be one of them that we'll continue to fight our rear ends off to be elite at it.
Todd, do you feel like in year 3, you've been through it twice, you know what you want to do, and it's not finding what you want to do, but really perfecting what you do best?
Some of that's true, and some of that is a part of having the same players, the same skill sets. How do we get the players that we have to stay in elite level at the areas they're elite at, if that makes sense. That's probably a crazy way of saying it. And then improve in the other areas where they can, whether it's pass protection or their ball skills or their blocking on the perimeter, all those things. But it certainly helps when everybody's back. You can kind of build off what we already know, what they are, and just try to get a little bit better in certain areas.
Todd, where is the community?
Just to follow up on those questions, is it kind of a more variance in the cadence than last year, or just everyone getting used to it?
No, there really isn't anything different other than we're starting back up again, and it's hot, and we got a number of guys going in the game. Sometimes it's the quarterback that, he takes a little bit of time at the line of scrimmage, more than he should, and then all of a sudden you're making calls at the line and you may forget you're on a different cadence. It's all of those things are a part of it, and but I'm not going to give in. We're going to fight like heck to be good at. Why can't we be elite at cadence? Why can't we? If other teams can, we sure as heck can be and should be.
Todd, how have you seen the communication between you and Lamar grow during your time?
Oh, it grows. It grows daily with each of us, and it's not just Lamar, it's every player. I think our ability, part of that too is with each year, you're really on the same page. I think he understands what we're trying to do, and I think he understands what we're trying to accomplish against what we're seeing every day. And I think every day he feels more comfortable voicing his pleasure, displeasure in terms of what we do or how he wants to see it. That's probably strong, but just be able to communicate, because everything goes through him. Everything goes through him. Everything we do starts with his confidence in what we do, right? He already has confidence himself. He's an elite player, but what we do to make sure that we're building it to where when he gets ready to go on Sunday, he can perform at an elite level and let his talent shine. That he's worked so hard to get to this point, which he really has. And he said it, I read it yesterday, he really is just, he's still coming. He's still a young player, really a quarterback in my mind.
Todd, you said that he's been going off script a bit at times, and that sometimes you let him get away with it, sometimes you coach him up. I guess, how do you balance that, him seeing what he's seeing and doing his freedom thing versus when it's time to follow exactly the play that you're on?
Well, it's all of our offense. It's collaboration. So at the end of the day, I think you set the offense, and he doesn't go AWOL. He doesn't go out of the blue, like it's not all of a sudden, it's within the parameters of what we do. And now is the time to do that. Now's the time to work on those things, the rapport with the receivers, those things, and getting us into a premium play. That's really what he should do. But it's all of our offense, and like anything, once he takes over that control, that's a good thing for the Ravens. The more he does that, the more he embraces that, which he does a lot of it, that's really good for the Ravens. Because the elite players like him want that. They want the ability to do that. And then you live with the end result. That's what you do. You live with the end result, and usually with him, it's pretty special.
Todd, the depth at the skill positions is the best probably in Ravens history. I think that's fair to say.
Look back at teams who've had that kind of depth. The Saints around 2010 used a fresh legs approach where they'd be constantly running in, oftentimes 5 eligible receivers per play. Do you see that as something you have in your toolkit this year?
Well, first of all, let's start off with this. The skill players that we have, okay, like I tell them, every year is a new year. So the skill group that we've got, I don't know what that is this year, okay? Our skill group can be elite, and they were elite in 2024. Well, it remains to be seen what will be in 2025 as an offensive staff and as an offensive team. Now, do I anticipate that those guys will play at an elite level? I do. But that remains to be seen. I mean, we haven't played the 2025 season yet. I forgot the rest of it because once I kind of got fired up about that.
In terms of the amount of rotation on a per game.
Oh, yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think that's great. I think I spoke about it in the offseason, like you'd rather have too many players that want the ball than not enough or that deserve it, right? You want that. You want to be able to try and balance touches because that's what they want is skilled players. But without a doubt, we should be in a position to where we can keep guys fresh. We can vary personnel groups like we did last year and have a number of players, because to me that's balance. Balance is having enough players that it's not just run and pass, it's touches. That they're not just defending one player, that you're defending modes, you're defending formations, you're defending players, you're defending concepts, all the above. And we're very fortunate to have that. And we'll see, because we have to do it this year.
Todd, seeing Keaton Mitchell and how well he's running out here, do you anticipate that he's going to have certainly a bigger role than he did last year offensively?
Well, it's great to see him back, because I think last year when he came back, he still, in his own mind, I think he wanted to be ready. You'd have to ask him whether he felt that way, was confident in that. And when you don't practice for such a long time, I'm excited to see him every day out here, and I'm excited to see him when we play in the preseason, because he's got to fight to get touches. 2 years ago, we didn't have Derek. I mean, let's just say it like it is. Like it's a fight to get touches in the backfield. Justice Hill's an established, outstanding football player. Now we got Derek. So that third running back position is fighting for reps, fighting for touches, fighting for the ability to be really good as a pass protector, all that above, special teams player, just because we're in a different place than we were a year ago. But it's exciting to see him really kind of be up to speed in the first 4 days.
Todd, when you just go back to what you were saying about efficiency, when you have the kind of year you guys had last year, how much higher do you kind of view the ceiling? And secondly, what are the one or two maybe most glaring examples from an efficiency standpoint you're focused on?
Well, we hit on it every time I get up here, which is penalties. Okay, so I'm sure I'll be up here in a couple of weeks. We'll have the same thing again. But that's number one is lost yardage plays. That falls into that, right? Getting backed up. I mean, it's you're up against it when you have those. So obviously that's a huge emphasis off season. Obviously, starting fast, the season off fast. 2 years ago we beat Houston, but we didn't play anywhere near a standard on offense. And last year we didn't come out of the block. So starting faster, okay, how we prep for that, how we game plan for that. And then I think with every player, I think it's imperative amongst our players and our coaches to maintain that high level is we got to challenge each other, because it's human nature. Whatever, as a player, an offense, human beings, to settle a little bit. We're going to be good. I don't know. 2025, we'll decide that. We have plenty of talent. Talent alone just doesn't get you there. All the things that win are the work that you put in, and then play at a high level when it counts.
How do you start fast? How do you go about? Because it is a
Well, it starts with coaching. Okay, I've done such a poor job the first 2 years. We weren't ready the first game, really. I shouldn't say that. We didn't do as good a job as we could have. Then last year, going to Kansas City, there were some things we worked on in the off season that really we went into that game, and also it wasn't just that. I would just say this: scratch that, reverse it. We know each other better this year than we did last year, starting with me. Who our personnel is, right? With Derek, who we are, how we utilize our tight ends, how we utilize our wideouts. That's probably a better way of putting it. So that I started off kind of on that wrong. I got to do a better job, but I think we have a better idea of I know we do, of a better idea of who we are, what wins for us with the players that we have.
Todd, along those lines, I think one of the areas of the passing game that wasn't just like elite was Lamar against man blitzes, and I know that's such a small thing, but is that just a thing where you think having the consistency, kind of the continuity, just kind of takes care of itself, or is there something more structural that you have been focusing on this offseason?
I think there's some merit to that, but it doesn't make any sense in some ways because we have guys that can separate. So against man, that isn't really an issue. It's doing a better job of myself helping us get into a better play, maybe better protection, concepts that we run, anticipating it. But for sure, it's crazy. You look at the statistic, like, how were we not? When there were so many other areas we were elite at, and you're thinking, wow, Lamar's ability to escape, hey, our guys that can really separate, we got a really good offensive line, we got elite backs, so that doesn't make sense, but you're right, we need to be a lot better at it.
Really good 4 days of training camp with our guys. With this young group, I thought this spring we got after the fundamentals. We start to build the standard and the expectations for what we want as Ravens special teams. And we're just going to bring these guys along. And I'm looking forward to having each and every one of these guys develop and continue to grow as we continue this fall camp and into those preseason games. Questions?
You do kick off full 35-yard line. How do you expect that to impact how you guys approach returns and kick?
I think as a special teams coach and as thinking about the players in the game that are this is how they make their living. Ball going to the 35-yard line. I think we had a nice increase in returns last year. I think there was like 334 or 32. And then there was opportunities for more touchdowns, more big plays, right? I think there was over almost 50 big 40-plus returns. So with the ball going to the 35-yard line, I don't think any defense is going to want that, right? So it's gonna allow your kickoff team to now let's go cover more kicks. And I'm looking forward to putting a group out there that's going to be confident and feel pretty good about not allowing teams to get to the 35-yard line.
There's so much about the kickers. It's one of the biggest storylines here. What have you seen, and when do you want a winner in this competition?
I don't think obviously going into you just let the guys that go out and they compete and they work and they get better every day. And I think the idea is what Randy has these guys doing is going to prepare them for the game. And when the winner shows, it's going to show, right? And it ain't going to be, how soon is that going to be? I don't know. But I do know that these guys are going to be out here getting valuable work every day and in these preseason games. And when it's showing and when it happens, whoever wins that job is going to be the guy that's right for the team.
What are you guys looking for in that? Is this just as simple as like whoever makes the most kicks in the moments?
I think it's a little bit more than that, right? I think it's all about consistency and everything that we do, and especially at that level, at that position, really at every position, but mainly at that position, right? We want to see kicks made, right? And we want to see good foot-to-ball contact. And there's a process about how these guys are going about it and where they're kicking from and what they're doing in practices. And the things that Randy is talking to these guys about every day is going to allow for both these guys to have success out on the field.
Where are you seeing them make their improvements from a technical aspect?
If you just think back to the spring, I think a lot of it is when Randy goes out and he's looking for a certain type of guy that fits what we do and our type of teaching from a kicking and technical standpoint. It's all about foot the ball. And kicking a straight ball and all those things, right? And the axis of the ball, if the ball is turning, well, we want the ball to be straight every time, right? And that's what we're working for. And that's been a big improvement since the spring. And I think both guys have gotten a lot better at doing that.
John had said, Keith Mitchell said, I want to be a kick returner if I can. John has said he thinks with the new rules it really plays to a running back being a kick returner. Why do you think that would be, and what's your impression of Keith Mitchell so far?
Obviously, Keaton has done a tremendous job for us when he has been back there. So just the body type, the style of play. It took us a while to really figure out, kind of our identity and kind of who we wanted to be as a kickoff return unit. And as the season went on late in the year, those body types, those running back body types, when they're used to bouncing off tacklers, right? And so it allowed for that type of player to really have success back there. But I believe like a guy with some toughness, a guy that's going to run with speed, with vision, he's going to have success back there for us. But Keaton, man, he's done a heck of a job, and it's really good to see him out here, man, just rolling.
This punt returner was a point of contention last year. Do you view that as simply a wide open competition at this point?
Definitely. For us, I talk about this every year. Punt returning is about being efficient, and being efficient in a sense of, like, if we in the game and we catch every ball, that's a plus for us, and we get no returns. Well, we're gonna figure out, how to make that better. Maybe the punt was short, right, and we fair caught the ball and we had to run up for it. Well, that's efficiency for me. And how are we catching the ball? What I'm looking for, and we as coaches and as a staff are looking for guys that are not going to put the ball on the ground, even in practice. And that's going to be the guy that's going to win the job when he goes out there and he's making yards and he's catching the ball and fielding the ball, making great decisions. That's what we're looking for.
I know, obviously, kicking got all the headlines last year, but with the key guys that you lost this offseason, what is kind of giving you the optimism that 2025 can be the kind of restoration of the Ravens special teams the way it's usually been?
We still have guys in the building that understand the standard, that understand the expectations of what we're looking for. So as long as you got a select few of guys, and yes, we did lose some guys, but with young guys, they don't know any better, right? So you got an opportunity to really mold those guys into what you want them to be. And if they listen and they learn and they grow on the way, they're going to be playing at the standard faster than what we think. But they're young guys. They don't know the system. All they know is like, all right, what is coach saying? And then we have video and we have proof of what it looks like on tape from the past. So we're just going to continue to do that. I feel really good about the guys we got. We went out, we got Jake, so we got a veteran guy, a guy that's played in this league 4 years, special teams, and played at a high level. So we got some guys in there that could help these young guys and bring them along.
Chris, one more question about that. The players on the Ravens who play special teams and who have long tenures in terms of special teams on this team also tend to have an offensive or defensive contribution that they make at the same time. So how invested are you as a special teams coach when you see somebody who might be playing good special teams? Pick a player, Atisa Isaac, as we say, we need him to be a good pass rusher because I need him for special teams now.
It's I think it's the more you could do factor, right? I tell the guys all the time, we're here to win, right? And if you got a good football player and you got a guy that his mindset is to do whatever it takes to help the team win, he's going to give everything he's got on the defense, and he's going to get everything he's got on the special teams or the offense. So from a decent standpoint, just to use that as an example, I think the guy's going to be a really good pass rusher. I also think he's going to be a really good special teams player, right? And it's our job to just get him to that point, to get him playing at a high level. And once he does that and he starts to have success on special teams, all those things translate to the other side of the ball. The same thing with the offensive guys, right? I use Justice Hill, for example, right? While he was waiting on his opportunity as a young guy, you know what he did? He played special teams and he played at a high level. He played like a Raven. And that stuff translates to more opportunities on the other side of the ball.
Chris, you mentioned not feeling rushed to pick a kicker through 4 days. Just curious what you've seen from each of the guys individually.
The kicks have been made, right? I think, with Tyler, the thing we understand is when we brought him in and we looked at him, the dude has a strong leg, right? And he's technically, he's sound. He kicks the ball the way we want to kick the ball, and he's been consistent, right? And that's what we're looking for. John, when you look at him, he's been consistent, and when you watch him over his college career, he was consistent. He made kicks, and that was the kind of guy that we went out and said, okay, let's bring in two guys that, you know what, they're consistent in what they do. One might look more powerful than the other one, but the kicks are going in, and that's ultimately what matters the most.
Have you given thought to, you've got 3 preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you anticipate both of them kicking in all of them, one getting a game, and both getting a game? Have you even thought to that?
I haven't given thought to that, but I do know both guys will be out there and both guys will be kicking.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, guys.